temptation, that stuff you can't seem to resist. Some are guilty pleasures, like this, or this, or even these guys. But then there are other temptations that aren't so great, like cheating on that test, lying to your mom, or talking about that supposed friend. But behind every shiny temptation is a sharp reality that affects us and our relationships and leave us feeling hooked.
Yeah, I turned it off.
You can't hear your hair.
Alright, so as you can see from the video, we're going to be talking about temptation. And you know what happens when you give into temptation? You find yourself living in a van down by the river! Sorry about that. It's a habit now. You gotta get into my groove. Oh well. Alright, so temptation, I think, is everybody is familiar with. Everybody gets tempted by something. Whether it's money, sex, drugs, whatever. My temptation is pranking people. If you give me a chance to prank somebody, you have more of a chance of fitting an elephant through the eye of a needle. Yeah? Well, I've done like pretty much every prank you can imagine, except for egging people, because egging people's messed up. Yeah. I mean, I've TP'd people, I've saran wrapped cars, I threw a pizza on someone's roof last week.
Really? That's a waste. That's a waste.
I've left goldfish on people's doorsteps multiple times, Ricky.
Yeah.
I light firecrackers off all the time. It's just something I love to do. You know, it's gonna be in my top 5 favorite things to do. One time, when I was up in Washington, me and my friend Derek were bored after school one day. So, having as much access to fireworks as we did, we had like bricks of firecrackers. So we took a couple packs and we went to my friend Jeremy's house. And we knocked on his door, and we lit one off, but he looked through the window and saw us before he opened the door, so we didn't get him. And then he went upstairs, and he opened this window, and you know, he's like yelling at us, "Why are you lighting firecrackers off in my house?" And then we were lighting firecrackers and throwing them out the window that he opened. And then we took off, because we thought we were hilarious. And then about an hour and a half later, I get this call from this number I don't know. And it's a cop saying that Jeremy's neighbor had called the cops on us for throwing firecrackers on his roof and stuff, because that's illegal, I guess. And he told us that we needed to go to the police station and turn ourselves in. And I mean, me and Derek were freaking out. I had like everything to lose. Like if people found out, like I would get sent home. My dad would kill me. Derek's dad would kill me. Derek's dad would like kill him. Derek's dad's a Navy SEAL, so he would do some damage, you know. But so we get in our car and we're on our way to the police station, and we're freaking out. Like I cried. Like I was almost in tears, but I had shed one tear, and then I remembered like this famous quote that I just love. It's "Big girls don't cry." Fergie, stop crying instantly. And then we get like halfway there. We have to be halfway there, and we get a call from the same number. And it's like, oh my gosh, like did this just get worse? And I answer it, and it's just hysterical laughing. My friend Jeremy and his stepdad had called us pretending to be the officer. and they told us to go to the police station. We were almost there. Like, I mean, we were on our way, and they got us so good. It's the worst I have ever been gotten, I guess you could say. Somebody got me really well, and I don't know if it was worse if I would have actually gone to the police station and confessed, as opposed to getting pranked like this. And that just, it still bothers me because I never hear the end of it. He still brings it up, and it's been like 2.5 years. But, you know, you guys probably aren't tempted by pranking people unless you're Lucas and Justin TPing my house. Hey, but you guys had a similar story like mine, right? Took your wheel off your bike and made you come pick it up. Awesome. Anyway, I mean, most people's temptations, I mean, there's tons of temptations, but most fall in the line of money, sex, drugs, lying, cheating, complaining, gossip, food, whatever, you know? And I mean, everybody was tempted. Jesus was tempted. Matthew 4, verses 1 and 2 say, "Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry." Jesus was tempted. Temptation happens to everybody. It's okay, but it's when we give into those temptations that sin happens. God does not tempt us. James 1, verse 13 and 14 say, "When tempted, no one should say, 'God is tempting me.' For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil and desire and enticed." This temptation that we have will never go away. It will never go away. But the way in which we deal with it will get better. God gives us the tools to be able to resist temptation. We often think that if we pray the right prayers and we do the right things, that will magically make our temptations disappear and we won't have to deal with it anymore. But that's wrong. Does anyone here like fishing? Yeah, you guys like fishing? Awesome. Well, I don't like to fish, I like to catch. Awesome. Yeah. Hilarious. Anyway, when you fish, use flashers. You know, you got some flashers, nice and shiny, spins around, helps lure the fish over here. You have different lures for different fish that look differently. I mean, they attract different kinds of fish. They're like different kinds of temptation. Each one tempts a different person, and each lure is a different temptation. Lures are aesthetically pleasing. And I have two questions right now. The first one is, man, I didn't know Keaton was smart. He knows a big word that I don't understand. And the second one is, what does aesthetically pleasing mean? Well, aesthetics is concerned with the study of the mind and emotions in relation to the sense of beauty, and also relating to involving or concerned with pure emotion and sensation as opposed to pure intellectuality, which means it looks nice. It looks nice, but it could have a hook. It could be bad. Looks are deceiving. So how do we know what to follow? How do we see through and spot the hook? Well, know that God cares for you, and he wants you to live well, and he wants to save you from a life of misery. And that's why he gives you the tools to resist temptation. All right, so are you guys familiar with the story of the Cat in the Hat?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Well, if you're not, the Cat in the Hat starts out with this boy and the girl. They are bored at home and it's raining, so they have nothing to do. Then a cat with a hat walks in, and they're not supposed to have people over. Their pet fish makes that very clear that they are not allowed to have people over. But the cat promises fun. The cat promises them something. And then he starts balancing items, on himself. He balances the fish on an umbrella, and he just keeps escalating and escalating. And then he drops all of it and makes a huge mess. And then the temptation is still there. He promises more fun. But he releases thing 1 and thing 2 because they will be more fun. But in reality, all they do is trash the house. They make a mess. And then their mom is walking to the door. They see her walking to the door. So they, and the Cat in the Hat, they catch thing 1 and thing 2, and the Cat in the Hat comes in with this contraption that magically cleans everything up. But that's not how things work. When we give in to temptation, we have to deal with the consequences. It's not like in the Cat in the Hat where it just magically gets fixed. And when you give in to temptation, you just want to keep pushing farther and farther. James 1 verse 16 says, "Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters." You guys want to see some deception? You know, I'm sure everyone here is familiar with the term partying. People go and they go drink and they smoke. You know, you just want to get drunk with your friends, you know? You want to have days that you cannot remember. And when you do that, you just want to keep going farther and farther. Well, maybe one night you get so drunk that you get in that car. You get in the car and you drive when you're too drunk. Or maybe you're drunk enough to get in the car with someone who's too drunk. You know, maybe you're saying, "Oh, this isn't me. You know, I'm in control at all times. I'm in control at all times." Well, it only takes one time. Stuff like drunk driving incidents happen. Like, it's not just in the movies. It's not just like we don't put on the they do like a demonstration at Clovis schools like every 2 years.
Every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes. Awesome. Well, don't think that is just just scary. I mean, this stuff happens. I went to Olympic High School, Bremerton, Washington. Everyone called it Ole. There are these kids that this year they call them the Ole 3. You want to know why they call them the Ole 3? Because one night they were out partying, and they were coming home, and the driver was drunk. He crashed. The 3 kids from my school, dead. Gone. The driver lived, and he's currently serving a 45-week sentence in jail, which is pretty light for killing 3 people. But he also has to live with the fact that because he made one stupid decision and drove, that he killed 3 of his friends. And that breaks my heart. It breaks God's heart too. God wants you to see through the lures of this world. He wants you to do it before you become hooked. And it's no longer, it's something that you wanted to do, not something you have to do. He wants you to catch it before that happens. Because it's so much harder when you're hooked to get away from it. Once you realize these worldly desires are lies, man, you have so much more power over yourself and over the lies. What struggles are you guys dealing with right now? I want you to think of one. And if you think that you have none, you're wrong. You're wrong. I want you to think of one. All right. Now, you guys probably want to get over that temptation. I'm not going to lie. So what you want to do is you want to pray for more strength to resist the temptation. God's not going to make it just go away. God builds you up. He wants you to overcome. He wants you to overcome the temptation, not just make the temptation go away. Then you want to tell somebody, tell a good friend who cares about you, not one that, you tell him and he's just like, oh, it's fine. You want someone who cares for your interests, who will stand up and make sure that your best interests are in mind. You want to tell them, or you can tell a leader here, or anybody, you can tell your parents, someone who has your best interests in mind. If you feel tempted, you want to call them, or just fall back on them if you are having trouble resisting that temptation, so that they may help you get over it. They may stop you in the act. Then you want to stop putting yourself in those situations that make you tempted. Yes, you might be a strong person. You might have all the self-control in the world, but it only takes one time. Why are you going to put yourself in that situation if it only takes one time? You might be able to resist it, but why are you going to put yourself in a situation where you might not be able to resist it? Step 3, keep praying. Never stop praying. Step 4, if you fail, don't get down on yourself. Pick yourself up, Pick yourself up, ask for forgiveness, and don't stop until the temptation that you feel is like a pen with no ink, useless. Don't put yourself in those situations. And then never stop praying about it. Always keep praying. Keep praying for your friends. Keep praying for yourself.